All right, we're now joined by another former NHL goaltender and our TSN hockey analyst. It's Kevin Weeks. Weeksy, great to see you. Dennis Hildeby and Joseph Woll. It's been a bit of a struggle lately. They've allowed 3 goals or more in 7 straight. Any concern for you, or should there be any concern for Craig Berube about the Leafs goaltending situation right now?
Great to see you and great to be on with you as always, brother. Listen, the challenge for the Leafs is they set such a high standard for their goaltending right from the outset of the season. Why? Anthony Stolarz was stealing games. He was absolutely sensational. And when Joseph Woll came back, he too stole games and was playing at a high level. You're exactly right, though. The last 7 games, there's been a dip in the performance for the Tendies. And maybe some of the coverage for the Leafs defensively, too, has lapsed a little bit. Those two things have kind of coincided to the 3 goals or more against per game in the last 7, which is unsightly because the Leafs have made huge strides in their ability to defend, their ability to match up, being tough in and around their net, boxing out in and around their net, and paying the price and blocking shots. And oh, by the way, getting outstanding goaltending. So that seems to have been on the decline in this 7-game stretch. And hopefully for the Leafs Nation, Stolarz is close to a return, or at least nearing a return.
And then, John Tavares is out of the lineup, and then you'll lose Matthew Knies to an upper body injury. If he's out for any length of time, I mean, he's had a terrific season, maybe better than any of us even expected, Weeksy. How massive a loss would this be for Toronto to lose Knies for any length of time?
That would be a massive loss for the Leafs because Knies, I've seen him up close. We've done 4 Leaf games this season on the road, and seeing him, he looks like a tight end. He's absolutely jacked. That guy is so big and powerful. He's fast, he's skilled, he's got the hands, the hockey IQ. And he went up against a bigger, taller man than Marchenko over by the Leafs bench in this game. And Marchenko was rooted in the ice like a tree in Hyde Park. And Knies was on the wrong side of that hit. Unfortunately for Knies and Leafs Nation, this would be a devastating loss because with his size and skill in that combination, he can get to the hard areas to make plays. Their head coach, Craig Berube, told me he's very bullish on him as a young player. And to your point, that compounds the loss to John Tavares, who's been outstanding this season.
Okay, Weeksy, I got to ask you about the Columbus Blue Jackets because this has truly been one of the great stories of the NHL this season. It starts so tragically with the death of Johnny Gaudreau, and you're thinking there's no way this team's going to be able to get it on track this year. It's a write-off. And yet they have not only been competitive, Weeksy, they're locked into one of those wild card spots in the East after this win over the Leafs on Wednesday night. What can you say about the job that Dean Evason has done? And how about Zach Werenski, Kevin? I mean, he's got to be a Norris Trophy candidate and a top one.
You're always on, but now you're back. Now you're back because the Columbus Blue Jackets, given the tragedy of the brothers, the Gaudreau brothers, and the passing of them, and what that meant within the organization, it was another tragedy. They've had several. And for them to be able to draw on the inspiration, playing in honor of him, and certainly his brother, and with heavy hearts, they've been outstanding this season. To me, they're more competitive on pucks. They're harder on bodies. They're better on the forecheck. They're playing more of a 200-foot game. They're blocking a lot of shots, as they did in Toronto in this game as well against the Leafs. There's more commitment and buy-in. And by the way, Elvis Merzlikins, who was sensational tonight, has been playing very well. And to me, they're just a more connected team from speaking to everybody around the league. You want me to go in on Zach Werenski? I'll go all the way in on the Michigan native Zach Werenski right now. And I say this with all love for the great Quinn Hughes out in Vancouver and the great Albertan Cale Makar, who plays for the Colorado Avalanche. Those 2 guys are Norris Trophy winners and 2 of the best of this generation, hands down. But this season, Zach Werenski is in their neighborhood right now. And right now I have him ahead of them by a whisker for the Norris Trophy. That's how great he's played so far, and that's how good the Jackets have looked. And they're sitting in the top wildcard spot right now in the Eastern Conference.
It's just great to see. It's a wonderful story. As for the Leafs, they get a couple of days off, then they're next in action against the Senators on Saturday in Ottawa. Kevin Weeks, you're always great. Thanks for this, buddy. Appreciate you.
Back at you, brother. Thanks so much for having me, as always.